Hello. Are you going to get better? Like, what are you doing? This is Shanti from Shanti TV. This is the second time I'm recording this because my microphone wasn't on. So I recorded this entire video with no audio. The life of a YouTuber. Hey you guys, thank you for joining me again this week. I wanted to get out a video that was requested by you all. There were a few of you that asked, what do you do for a living? How did you start your business? What does that look like for you? And so I wanted to come on and talk about that, and hopefully, as I'm talking about it, encourage some of you guys that are thinking about starting your own business to do that. I think it's one of the greatest opportunities that we have in this country. Start your own business, make your own money for yourself. It's kind of a big, big, big deal. And for those of you who can do it or who want to do it, I'm just going to talk about what I've been doing. And so maybe you'll get your own ideas, maybe you'll have questions. If you have questions, leave them in the comments below. If you're interested in this type of a topic, please continue to watch. Okay, so you might be wondering, what do I sell? Like, I have a business, I'm selling something. Well, you're either selling a product or a service. So for me, I sell a service. And you might be wondering, what type of service do I sell? Well, I sell consulting services. So what I currently do for a living is I implement very large ERP systems. So you can consider that I'm in IT, I'm in the IT world, and I am also a project manager in the IT space. So to give you a little bit of background on myself, my actual major was in music, in vocal performance to be more specific. And after I graduated, I did spend a little bit of time pursuing that by teaching, and quickly realized that that is really not what I wanted to do. I really wanted to kind of work in the business world and try to figure that out because I wanted to understand what that looked like. So I got myself into the business world and into an analyst position, and quickly realized that I was pretty good at what I was doing. And I was able to kind of understand data very efficiently, look at data, analyze data, take action on it if needed. And I did that. So in that particular job, there were multiple opportunities for me to grow. I was in my 20s when I got that job, and probably in my mid-20s, when close to my mid-20s when I got that job. And I had many opportunities to kind of grow and learn and understand what a business actually does to run. Like, there's all these departments doing things. There's all these people like running around doing things and managing things, and like, what is this all about? Like, how does this all work? And so those things were always very curious to me. But anyway, as I was in the corporate world, I basically put myself in a position to learn. And I observed everything I could, and I learned everything I could around me. And what I would do is I would find a person and I would look at their job function and I would say, that looks like a pretty cool job and it's something I'd be interested in. How do I do that job? That attitude right there is honestly what has kept me going into where I am today. It's the curiosity of, what does that look like if I do that? So I was at that job for many years, and eventually I lost that job because there was some big financial scandal and it was heartache. And you know, when you're young, you think your life is completely over at that moment. My life was hardly over, but I thought my life was over. Because it was tough. I loved the job. I ended up becoming a business analyst. So I started out kind of as a data analyst, and then I ended up becoming a business analyst. And I just loved that job. So after doing that job, I lost it. And I thought my life was over, and I had to start all over. And in the meantime, I had moved across the country. So just completely crazy, new life, new place. It was it was a very difficult time for me. I ended up just starting over. I started from the bottom again, and I thought, okay, well, I'm just gonna start from the bottom and see what happens. And eventually I was able to get myself back into an analytical position and was able to get into a manufacturing company where I was given the opportunity to learn basically every single department that was there. I sat with customer service, I sat with the AP department, I sat with the AR department, I knew what human resources was doing, I knew what manufacturing was doing. I was in I was like a sponge, and I just soaked in everything I could as fast as I could and really tried to understand what it takes to run a business. What does it take to sell a product for a profit? And while I'm learning all these things, I decided, you know what? I'm gonna go back to school. So I did that. I put myself back in school, and I got my master's in business administration, and I continued to work. Then the opportunity came to implement new systems, and I got to do it twice. And when that opportunity came up, I raised my hand and said, yes, I want to be part of the implementation team. I want to understand what it takes to implement a new system, because that means I'm going to learn everything there is to know about what people do. And it's also going to make me understand, how do I take that thing and make sure that the system is seeing what they're doing and, keeping track of what they're doing. That was a huge opportunity for me, and I was given that opportunity. I raised my hand, and they said, yeah, go for it, do it. So as I worked at that company for 8 years. I finished my master's, got my experience, and really took the opportunity to learn the software that we were implementing and understood that there was additional opportunity here for me. I could help not only the company I was at, why can't I start helping other companies to implement this software? And so I took that opportunity, and I left, and I went to a consulting firm. And while I was there, again, I got experience not only manufacturing building products, I got opportunities to work in fashion, I got opportunities to work in manufacturing car parts. I got various different types of experiences as I moved from one place to another. So that is the probably most exhilarating part of my job, is to be able to learn different industries and be able to understand how I get those industries into a specific software system. It's pretty incredible. So product, service. So in my line of work, I sell a service, and that service is my consulting time. So from there, I was observing that, I have other companies that are selling my service. Why can't I sell my own service? Okay, well, the reason you can't sell your own service is because you have to have clients. You have to know what to charge. How are you going to figure that out? Well, as the pandemic was happening, and as I'm sitting there working and thinking, I really could be doing this on my own. I'm good at it. I have the skill set. I've honed my skill sets enough to know that I'm good at it. I've built my confidence. I have built a Rolodex of people that I know now. And so this, by the way, took over 10 to 12 years to do. This is not something that happened overnight, but this is something that grew over time. So at the end of 2020, I was basically at the end of a road, and I had two paths that I could go down. The one path is I could kind of stay where I was at with the company that I was at, or I could try and kind of do my own thing. And there comes a point in time where you have planned for so long and you are given an opportunity that comes at the end of this path, and you have to make a decision. You have to make a decision to know, is it the right time to jump off the cliff and go this way? Or do I stay in my comfort zone? Do I continue to stay in my comfort zone, continue to hone my skills? And I knew that I was ready. Like, I knew it was the right time. You are the only person that knows that. You have to listen to your gut. And so at the end of 2020, I decided to take this road and start my own business. And so some of you might be wondering, well, how do you get clients? Well, I have clients because I've been working in this industry for 10 to 12 years now. I know who the players are that are in the industry, and they know who I am because I've been in the industry. So again, past relationships, past professional relationships are really, really important. So I do want to talk about just getting clients and just relationship building. Clients can come from past relationships that you have. The other thing I want to tell you is first impressions is a big thing. Like, first impressions are important. You need to make a good first impression. You also need to continue building your confidence in people, right? As you do your work and you're building confidence in people, they want to work with you more because you're reliable, you're knowledgeable. The other thing that's super important is don't burn bridges. No matter how much you may want to light that thing up on fire, don't do it. Because you need to stay professional at all times. I'm in a situation right now where I don't want to be professional. But what's that going to do for me? If I become unprofessional, I could lose a relationship. I could lose a client. And then that client might then say, hey, so-and-so, her attitude sucks. Not worth it. Cut your ego. As much as you might want to scream, as much as you might think you're important, and as much as you might think that you're right, be professional. The client is the client. If they want something that you don't feel is correct or is the right thing to do, tell them. It's your responsibility to tell them. Explain why you think it might hurt them, and then it's up to them. It's their decision. That's it. So don't burn bridges. You need to stay professional at all times. It's difficult, believe me. Don't be afraid to reach out to colleagues. Again, one of the things that I did over and over and over again in my professional life was always try to talk to the people that I admired or respected or wanted their jobs. So if I found somebody and I thought, I really like their job, I think I want to do that next, I think I want to try that next, I would reach out to them. I'd talk to them. I would befriend them. I would find out, what does it take to do your job? Because I want to do that eventually. And most of the time, they're willing to talk to you and willing to help you and tell you what it takes. The other thing that's very important, that is a lesson that I've had to learn over time, is to align yourself with the right people that are for you. So in many situations in my personal and professional life, I didn't want to believe that there were bad people or people would be ill-willed towards me. I didn't really want to believe that, but the truth is, that is a thing. There are people that don't like you. There are people that are not for you. There are people that are jealous of you. So what? The key is you have to recognize it. And the only way you can recognize it is if you yourself grow. Once you grow, you will understand that there are people that just don't have the capacity to be for you. They don't know any better. Some of them are ill-willed and have bad intentions. You need to cut those people out. They need to just be completely out of your life so that you can get yourself focused. I will tell you that until I did that, I couldn't make the leap. I couldn't leap off the cliff and take the chance on me because there was too much noise. Too much noise. You need to cut the noise. Okay, so once I figured out what I'm selling, which is a service, once I figured out how I'm gonna charge for that service, the reason I know how much I'm gonna charge for that service is because I'm in the industry. I know what the going rates are. So pretty simple. Once I got my clients, how did I get my clients? Actually, my clients reached out to me. Past relationships, very important. So once you get all those things done, then you need to figure out, what are you gonna call yourself? How are you going to set yourself up? Are you an LLC? Are you an S Corp? Are you a corporation? So I had a little bit of knowledge, again, because I had gone to school and I had always kind of studied business, and I just always wanted a business. So I pretty much knew what it is that I want to be. If you are questioning or have questions on that, I am not a tax advisor or a legal professional. So I don't have anything to say on that, but I would say that you need to go get professional advice, and that's okay. Go talk to a tax advisor, go get legal counsel, because there are things that you're going to need to tap into them for anyway when you set yourself up. So you need to get a business name, you need to register yourself and get a TIN, and this is obviously for the US. And a TIN is basically like your social security ID for your business, and that's how you will operate. The other thing that I did that was so super important is to get a contract in place. Like, you need to have contracts with your clients. You shouldn't be willy-nillying it. You shouldn't be like, oh, verbal, contracts. No. You need to lay out on a piece of paper what it is that you're providing as a service and what your client is going to pay you for that service and what your expectations are. So it's called level setting. Again, this is another place where it's really important that you seek legal counsel. You need to make sure that your contract is legally sound, just in case. The last thing I will talk to you guys about is getting software. So I chose Quicken for my business, and it is a cloud software, so I automatically get updates. I think I'm on probably the lowest plan because it's literally just me. I am doing my own books. I do not suggest everyone do their own books. The only reason I'm doing my own books is because I've taken an interest in doing them, and because I have been around businesses long enough to be able to understand what I should be doing. I will tell you this, when I was struggling with setting up my initial business, I did reach out to a professional to help me set up a few things. And the good thing is, once you kind of get it set up and get it going, it's kind of like clockwork. I also did have my bank and my credit card that I use for expenses automatically talk to my software so that all of my expenses, my bank transactions are coming in automatically, so I don't have to worry about it. All I have to do is make sure that they're going to the right accounts. So you need some type of software to keep track of where's your money going? How are you spending your money? Where are your invoices at? Are your clients paying you on time? What's your bank balance? Do you have enough money to run your business? So there obviously are expenses that come with business. It's very, very important to keep track of those expenses. Anytime I want to look at, what was that expense? Why is that $500? What exactly was that for? I can just click on it, and I have already attached my receipt to that expense, and I can see what it is. So when tax time comes and my accountant is doing my books for my business for the end of the year, he can see what those things are, and there's no question. So I want to make it easy also for other professionals that might need to be involved in when they're looking at my books. So keep a good set of books. It's very, very, very important. So that was the last thing I wanted to talk to you guys about. If you like these kinds of videos, give it a thumbs up. If you are new to this channel, welcome. If you're a returning subscriber, thank you for returning. And comment below. What other questions do you have about my business? It seems very simple, but honestly, it took lots of time. It takes lots of confidence, and it takes education. You need to educate yourself. If you have an idea in your head, you need to understand what that looks like. You know, write it out on paper. Planning is good, but remember, planning without action ain't gonna get you nowhere. And you have to know when to take that action. So with that, I will leave you. I hope you all have a good week. Ciao.